Some stories are very old, but they never feel old. Tonight, I want to tell you a story from Japan. A story about someone who did not quite belong to this world. Long ago, in the mountains of Japan, there was a quiet bamboo forest. Every morning, an old man walked into that forest. He cut bamboo for a living. It was simple work, but he loved the early mornings there. The bamboo grew so tall that you could not see the sky, only green and light and the soft sound of the wind moving through the leaves. In the mornings, before the world woke up, the forest was completely still. He liked that stillness. He had walked this same path for many years. He knew every stalk, every shadow, every sound. So when something was different, he noticed immediately. One bamboo stalk was glowing, softly, from the inside. He stood very still for a moment. Then he walked closer. He knelt down, and slowly, he opened the stalk. Inside, there was a tiny girl, small enough to fit in his hand, but already perfectly formed. He did not move for a long time. He just held her gently and felt something he could not name. Something warm. Something certain. This child, he thought, was meant to come to us. He brought her home to his wife. They had always wanted a child. For many years, they had hoped. And quietly, they had stopped hoping. And now, here she was. They named her Kaguya-hime, the shining princess. She grew quickly, faster than any child they had ever seen. Within 3 months, she was already a young woman. And she was beautiful. Not just pretty. Beautiful in a way that was hard to explain. People said that when Kaguya-hime was in a room, the room felt brighter. Not because of any light, because of her. The old couple watched her grow, with a happiness they had never felt before. And something else was happening too. Every time the old man went into the forest, he found gold inside the glowing bamboo. A little at first, then more and more. As if the forest knew what she meant to them and was saying, "Thank you." As Kaguya-hime grew, word of her beauty spread across the land. Men came from far away, many of them from important families. They waited outside her home every night, hoping just to catch a glimpse of her face. 5 of them were especially persistent. So Kaguya-hime came to the door and spoke to them. Her voice was calm, almost kind. She said, "I will marry the man who brings me what I ask for." But what she asked for was impossible. A sacred bowl from the Buddha himself. A jeweled branch from an island that does not exist. A robe woven from the fur of a fire rat. A jewel from the neck of a living dragon. A shell hidden deep inside a swallow's nest. One by one, they tried. One by one, they failed. Some lied. Some gave up. Some were badly hurt trying. Kaguya-hime watched them all go without a single tear. Even the Emperor of Japan heard about her. He came to see her himself, and the moment he saw her, he understood. He understood why no one could forget her. He did not make demands. He simply asked. Kaguya-hime was gentle with him, gentler than with anyone else. But still, she shook her head. "I am sorry," she said quietly. "I cannot stay in this world." The emperor did not argue. He did not press her. He simply went home. And a few days later, a letter arrived at her door. She read it alone, by the window. And she wrote back. This went on for years. Two people, writing to each other, across an impossible distance. No promises, no plans, just words, sent quietly into the space between them. Perhaps that was enough. Perhaps it was all there could be. But as time passed, something in Kaguya-hime began to change. It was hard to name at first. She still smiled. She still spoke softly. She was still kind. But in the evenings, she would sit by the window and look at the moon. For a long time, without moving, without speaking. Not the way most people look at the moon. She looked at it, the way you look at a place you have been away from for too long. Her parents watched her. They did not say anything at first. But the feeling in the house changed. Something quiet and sad had settled over everything. One evening, her father sat beside her. He did not ask right away. He just sat with her, in the dark, looking at the moon together. Then, softly, he asked, "What is wrong?" Kaguya-hime did not answer for a long time. When she finally spoke, her voice was very quiet. "I was not born on this earth. I came from the moon. And soon, they will come to take me back." Her mother covered her face. Her father held her hands and could not speak. "When?" he finally asked. "On the night of the full moon, in the 8th month." The three of them sat together in the quiet room. Outside, the moon was still there, bright and patient, waiting. In the days that followed, the old couple could not sleep. They sat up through the nights, watching over her. Kaguya-hime knew. She cooked for them. She sat with them. She laughed with them sometimes, the way she used to. But in the evenings, she always came back to the window, and the moon was always there. She wrote one last letter to the emperor. She took a long time writing it. There are no words for what she wanted to say, but she tried. The emperor sent hundreds of soldiers to guard her home. They stood in rows outside, torches burning, eyes open. No one would take her away. But when the night came, the soldiers could not move. Their arms felt heavy. Their eyes slowly closed. and from the sky, a soft light came down. Not blinding, not loud, just very still and very certain. Figures in white robes descended slowly. They did not speak. They did not need to. Kaguya-hime stood up. She turned to her father. She turned to her mother. And she cried. Not like a princess from the moon, like a daughter leaving home. Her mother held her tightly and would not let go. Her father stood beside them both, his hands at his sides, unable to do anything at all. Before she left, she placed something in her father's hands. A small flask, an elixir of immortality, a drink that could make someone live forever. For the emperor, she said quietly. And then she was gone. The white light rose slowly back into the sky, and the night was quiet again. When the emperor received the flask, he held it for a long time. He read her final letter. He read it again. Then he looked at the flask, and he said very quietly, "What is the point of living forever if she is not here?" He sent the elixir to the highest mountain in Japan, and there it was burned. The smoke rose slowly, higher and higher, up into the sky, toward the moon. That mountain was called Fuji. This story is over 1,000 years old, but people in Japan still love it. Maybe because it does not try to explain everything. It just holds something quietly, that some people seem to belong somewhere else. That love is real, even when it cannot hold on. That the most beautiful things are often the ones we cannot keep. And maybe, on a quiet night, when the moon is full, she is still up there, watching, remembering, missing this world a little.
That was the story of the Moon Princess, Kaguya-hime. If you are listening before sleep, I hope this story travels gently with you into your dreams. Good night.